Awesome. Welcome to our next episode of Winners Wednesday. I'm very excited to have a very special guest all the way from North Carolina, Miss Danielle Furrell. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you again. It's been a little while since we've talked, so I'm super excited to connect.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for inviting me.
So how's North Carolina treating you? Is it hot?
Yeah, extremely hot. I took my kids to the pool yesterday thinking, we're in the water, we won't get that much sun, and we all came back like fried.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. I heard, so I'm in Puerto Rico, which it's hot here, but not quite as hot as, I heard Oklahoma was like 110 yesterday. And I'm like, eh.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You got to be near the water to enjoy it.
Right. Absolutely. So Danielle, I'm excited. I know that we've known each other for several years now and just seeing your continued growth. I mean, you're absolutely a tremendous agent, not just an agent, but a leader and just really somebody that serves within the community. So for those that don't know much about you or maybe haven't heard of you yet, because obviously this is streaming nationwide, can you just give a little bit of a background on yourself, how you got into real estate, et cetera?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in North Carolina for about 13 years with my husband and 4 children. So they definitely keep me busy. But I was working for a law office about 12 years ago and decided that we were going to, build our house. And I was always interested in contracts and negotiating from the legal standpoint. So I didn't actually hire a realtor. I wanted to do it all myself because I thought, I could do this. I was not a realtor yet. And the builder the company were like, yeah, we need you on this side of the table. We want your skills, to serve us. And I got my license shortly after I had my second child. Passed the test on the first try. I know it's not common, but I did, and grateful that I did, because when I left, I was like, I don't know if I could do that again. But I appreciate the people that continue to try, because it is a hard test. So I immediately started working for, you may have heard of D.R. Horton. It's a nationwide builder. So within 6 weeks after getting my license, I was a full broker. Here in North Carolina, if you don't know, you're considered a broker, but you're a provisional broker until you do 3 30-minute continuing education classes, which you're required to do within 18 months, but I did it in 6 weeks.
Wow.
And that was basically because in order for me to have my own community, I had to be a full broker, and I couldn't really be, provisional broker, because they have to check everything you're doing, basically. So I did that until D.R. Horton kind of stopped building in our area. I didn't really want to relocate, but I worked with other builders because that was all I knew at the time. I didn't really know the full general brokerage. So then I got kind of tired of that. I actually went on to have twins. So my
Wow, you got your hands full.
Yeah, so my children are 14, 10, and then the 8-year-old twins. So I had the twins probably a year after I got into the business. So I had to really manage my time efficiently, because I didn't have a lot of it to kind of give to the business. So shortly after, I decided to get out of new construction, because somebody was like, you need to talk to Ruben Garcia. If you don't know him, proven by Ruben.
Mr. Ruben.
Yeah. So I met him and joined Keller Williams. He was the team leader there. And then he changed roles and was my coach. So I did the coaching with him. And then after 2 years of giving away $25,000 a year in cap, because I was a capper. If you don't know what that means that you exceed, the revenue to basically get to 100% commission. Not all companies offer that, but most do once you hit a certain level. So with Keller Williams, it was 25,000, and here I am working part-time with 2 and 3-year-old twins, just a couple days a week. And I was like, wow, I could have bought a new car with that, or I could have, invested it somehow. So I was kind of on the fence of what I was gonna do next, really. But I knew that I was gonna be leaving that firm for my own growth that I wanted to have. So Ruben actually came to EXP. So then I started researching EXP. I talked to you, Micah, and I was like, oh, wow. So if I do what I'm doing, I'm probably going to be an icon agent. Not only will I get my cat back in stock, but that will grow, and everything. So I did. I became an icon agent my first year. I joined in 2019. So I got like my full cap. When I started I know yours was probably a lot lower, but the stock was like maybe $8 a share or something. I checked the other day, it was almost 25. However, it did split.
Right.
So those shares doubled, and everything like that. So I've definitely earned way more than the 16,000 a year that I'm giving in my cap in the form of stock. So I love EXP. I really don't think I would be anywhere else. And I don't know why everyone isn't here, honestly, because I just feel like there's no limit to like your success. You kind of determine it yourself.
Yeah, I always like to say equal opportunity, different results, right? It's not a top down, who got in first, anything like that. I really like, Danielle, I wanted to highlight something that you mentioned for those that are watching is you got your license and, obviously you've got, a handful of kids, you've got your twins. And I think you said you got licensed, a year after you had your twins? Is that right?
A year before. So I
A
got my
year
license
before.
in
Okay. I
2014.
switched.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that is absolutely incredible. I know for myself, I've never had twins, but I got my license 2 weeks before I was having my oldest son. So, very much remember like dragging them to showings or, team meetings or things like that. But what would you say? I mean, do you have any advice for working moms or working dads that maybe newly licensed have babies at home? I mean, what would you consider that superpower was to give you the ability to not only be a mom, be present with your kids, but also build a business from the ground up?
I would say use your sphere, because you'd be surprised how many people that you see, every day or every week. To be honest with you, I have gotten so much business from other twin parents because I
That's
twin
awesome.
mom group, and then they knew I was a realtor and they already liked, knew, and trusted me. So I helped them buy houses, sell houses. I've helped my nail salon owners buy multiple houses, my hairdresser. But I would say, if you create good habits, even with your kids, you want them to eat and then you want them to take a nap or you want them to go to bed. Those are habits that you're creating for them that you can also create for yourself within your business. So if they're napping, maybe you make an hour of phone calls.
Right.
At night, maybe you make an hour of phone calls. For me, I had childcare 2 days a week. So I had to structure all my appointments on those 2 days a week. They were not in daycare. So, and I had a 2-year-old when I had my twins. So I had 3 2 and under.
Wow.
So
Oh my
if
gosh.
I can do it, anyone can do it.
I love that. And I love that you said it's important to keep them on a schedule. Cause I always said that, like, same thing. And some of you watching may be like, oh, that's a little too strict, but I would make my kids take a nap whether they wanted to or not. Cause I was like, just like you said, that was my prospecting power hour. So it was like the second they laid down, I knew the clock was ticking, which even to this day with them, one's a teenager, one's 11, but they still very much are on our schedule. So I think that's incredibly important that, your family life is kind of designed around your professional life and then vice versa, right? So,
Yeah, definitely.
So, what would you say, Danielle's really been truly the key to your success? I mean, you've been in the business 9 years, it sounds like. You hit icon with EXP, which is one of the highest prestigious awards that you can get with the company as a top producer. And then you've continued to do so. What would you say has been the key to your success?
I would say, again, consistent habits and not living in fear. I feel like fear is an illusion, it's not real. And I brought a couple books to share, but I love the book The Secret. My friend
Oh,
bought it for me, I think, when I was in college, and I feel like it's just kind of transformed the way I think and do things. And then obviously I'm talking about habits, atomic habits, I think is really important. But I would say, like if you're having a bad day, that's not going to stop you from doing, your activities that are going to help you stay towards the goals that you want to achieve. So I believe that, if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. So just kind of sticking with it. If you get a no 10 times, you know, don't give up, because the 11th might be a yes, and I feel like a lot of people are scared to, door knock or make phone calls, but it's actually kind of sometimes more scary to talk to people that you do know,
right.
and put yourself out there, because you don't want to be, like this pushy friend or whatever it may be, acquaintance, asking for business. So honestly, talking to strangers is almost easier, because they're not going to hurt your feelings if they say no. Um, but I think a lot of people are, live in fear. And if they are, then they're not probably going to be very successful, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think, everybody wants the secret sauce to success, and it really starts with your own mindset, which, I love that you share those two books. By the way, I've read both of those and they're fantastic. So for anybody watching this, definitely go download them. I think The Secret has a movie too, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
So I know sometimes it sounds like, law of attraction and all those different things are taboo, but in reality, it's what you put forth into the universe is what's going to come back to you. Now, it's not immediate gratification, right? Especially when you're building a business, but you have to put in the effort. So, if you have a lot of excuses, then you're going to get stuck with those excuses. So, it sounds like, Danielle, I mean, you're really on the right path. You get it. You get that you have to put in the time and effort, not only into your business but also your personal development, which is huge. And I know, so obviously I'm going to switch gears a little bit. You've been a top producer year over year with EXP. You've started to expand and build out a team and have some agents within your group at EXP. I mean, what made you kind of make that switch from going as a solo agent? At what point did you decide to start kind of leveraging and bringing on other agents?
So for me, I feel like I've always wanted to inspire mostly women and mothers that they can do hard things, because I think some people unfortunately just, fit into like a box, and they think that that's it and they don't expand. So I kind of wanted to mentor and like help other women, not only women, but kind of more geared towards them, because I feel like they kind of can get lost. It's very easy to kind of get lost behind being a wife or a mother, and not, realizing that, if you're passionate about something and you have other goals, that's okay too. You can do more than, just that.
Right.
So, it kind of came from that, like wanting to inspire people to do hard things. I feel like I've always been kind of that way. A little bit about my background: neither of my parents ever owned a home. So nothing was ever given or handed to me. I always had to kind of work hard for it. And I easily could have fallen into that trap of, oh, I can never own a home, or I can never do this, but I never did. So it kind of started with that, wanting to like mentor other people. And then it kind of shifted a little bit, towards just, being a mentor versus necessarily having a team, or a large team, because I found that, um, it's not always easy to kind of feel like you're babysitting and doing all this for adults. Um, Sometimes they act like children, or you're not really you think you're starting it for one reason and then it slowly shifts, or you're taken advantage of, because I ran into that too, because I was such a giving, generous person wanting to help people with really little in return. um, but I love that EXP allows you to kind of mentor agents and kind of have a team without having a team, if that makes
Right.
sense, you know?
Yeah, so let's kind of expand on that a little bit for people that aren't familiar with EXP. But before we do, I want to take a step back. So you mentioned going from DR Horton to Keller to EXP, and obviously there was a savings in terms of the cap and the franchise fee that you were paying in from Keller versus what you'd be paying into EXP. Were there any other kind of deciding factors that said, okay, this is where EXP is going to be my home, my real estate home, in terms of the business model, the organization, things like that?
Yeah, there was tons. I joined in 2019, so right before COVID. But I also was like, wow, if I wanted to take a class at this other firm, I had to get childcare. I couldn't just go on my computer and, be present or put myself on mute, feed my kids, but also be learning a multitude of things that you can learn within, real estate. And EXP had that. I loved that it was virtual. And I feel like I wish I knew about it when my kids were 2 and I was looking for a firm, because it would have been amazing. But that is a huge thing that really brought me to EXP. Um, I love that you can literally upload a picture of your check and you're paid within like 2 days, maybe even one. So you're not, having to get in your car and go to a firm and pick up a check and drop it off at another place. And you can literally do that from the beach if you want to take a vacation, which also leads into the financial freedom that EXP offers, with the multiple streams of ways that you can make money, not just selling real estate.
Absolutely. So and I couldn't agree more. I joined EXP almost 9 years ago. So my youngest son was about 2. So it sounds like pretty similar, but I'm like, oh boy, if I would have had this when my oldest was younger, and same thing, not dragging, babies to sales meetings and things like that, it would have made life a lot easier. So I do like the fact that we can tap in virtually to top producers like yourself all over the country every single day. So I think that's incredibly important. So let's talk about, you mentioned like developing a team without having to have that traditional mindset of a team. Do you mind expanding on that just a little bit?
Yeah, so you can literally bring on a whole other team or individual agents. So basically, you're their sponsor. You can still mentor them. You can still, have calls like this or see each other in person. They don't have to be in your state, which I also love, because, they can be referral partners. In North Carolina, they can be in Florida, California, anywhere. But they don't compensate you for being on your team. So you're not taking any of their commission, where traditionally you're taking 50%, 25%, whatever it may be, off every transaction, which, if you don't know, you're going to think, oh, that's good. Maybe I'm going to get some leads. But with EXP, you pay in your 20%, which is really nothing if you think about it, because you do get it back if earn the levels that you can. And then from that, EXP, gives what's called the revenue share, to the sponsors. So you're getting some sort of benefit by being, their sponsor, but they're also getting you as their mentor, and their maybe referring agent and so forth.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And, there still is the opportunity, obviously, to build a traditional team and lead gen and splits and things like that. But as you just mentioned, what we kind of call the modern team, there's other ways to build it in terms of a group and organization. So definitely, if agents are watching this and you have questions, please reach out to Danielle and kind of see how that's structured, because she's adding agents all over the country to her group and helping coach and train and get them acclimated into EXP as well. So Danielle, obviously you've done well. We're so happy and blessed to have you as part of our EXP family. Where are we going to see you in the next couple of years? What is your next, let's say 3 to 5 year goal?
Well, I'm definitely still going to be in the industry. I don't think I'll ever stop, selling and buying, but I definitely have kind of not switched, but added and designing homes and flips and kind of adding a little bit of that. I think it kind of reminds me of new construction, which I loved because, you get to pick out the floor and the colors and it's new and all that.
Right.
So I'm kind of adding that to my portfolio. I feel like I've done everything you can really do in real estate. But I'm really passionate about seeing something turn into something beautiful that maybe wasn't from the start. But other than that, I'm still going to be probably doing a lot of what I'm doing, maybe expanding a little bit more. I don't know if I'll still be in North Carolina. I probably will. I think my kids would cry for years if I took them away from their friends, and we have family here now. So that's probably where you'll see me.
Awesome. I love it. I love the creativity. You mentioned flips and investing and designing. So those are all amazing things. And definitely I've seen some of your work and you're very, very good at it. So Danielle, for agents that are watching this, whether it be live or one of the replays, and they're interested in joining your group and having your mentorship and coaching, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
They can definitely call me, email me, text me. I'm pretty much available anyway. I'm always looking at my phone, always checking my email. So whatever method works for them works for me.
Awesome. And what was do you mind sharing your phone number?
Oh, sure. My phone number is area code 781-760-1538. And if they
Fantastic.
send me a text, I can send my digital card, so then they have all my other forms of contact.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. You're just a wealth of knowledge, and we enjoy seeing your continued success. So I really appreciate you sharing everything and all these great nuggets with everyone today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Okay, bye.